Y'all might not know my name. Hold up. Y'all might not know my name, but you can call me Tay. We got China versus Japan. Honestly, I'm on Team Japan. I don't really like China. I'm on Team Japan.
China and Japan are the dominant Asian powers, and they have been beefing for centuries at this point. But for the past couple of centuries, China was at a disadvantage because Britain made them addicted to opium and basically destroyed them along with other European powers during the Chinese century of humiliation. And Japan got the sun dropped on them twice. Both of them have gotten cooked, but Japan has gone from producing the world's most brutal soldiers to making Nintendo and Naruto. That's a very, very good glow up. And China went from a rural, broke dictatorship to being ruled by the man with the most aura since Stalin and becoming the factory of the world and having the craziest looking, most cyberpunk cities in the world. And to signify the point system and which one is winning, each country's leader will progressively get more of a Chad face as they gain points. Both of these countries love overworking their people, such as the infamous 996 in China, where you have to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Now, that is just the average work schedule in Eastern Europe, but it might be shocking to a lot of people. What else do you do all day? You barely have time for sleep. Exactly. Good. There won't be any time for you to start getting first world thoughts, such as sadness or whatever.
This is automatically a Japanese victory. Like, I get Japan has a crazy work thing too, but China 9 to 9, 6 days a week? Are you serious? It is a dictatorship. It is communist. Wrap this video up. It's over.
Was talking about. And honestly, in this category, both these countries are tied because Japanese people are notoriously overworked. Karoshi is a Japanese word meaning death from overwork, and seeing tired, passed out businessmen in Japan is pretty common. Obviously, this work schedule is not healthy, and seeing as both these countries have a horrible birth rate and a demography crisis coming up, they need to lock in and do something about this. In China, they actually banned the crisis coming.
I don't know how this looks.
Need to lock in and do something about this. In China, they actually banned the 996 work system, so it's not technically illegal to do that, but China has a big unemployment problem among the youth to the point where a fifth of them are extremely qualified but unemployed. So a lot of these people will accept bad working conditions such as the 996 to have a salary and actually make money. So yeah, it's illegal, but like stabbing is illegal, but people still do it, you know? The standard work week is 40 hours in Japan, but a recent government survey found that 1 in 10 Japanese workers put in more than 80 hours of overtime.
Oh my gosh. No. Please don't do this to my people. Please. Kodasai.
Per month, with 1 in 5 at risk of karoshi. And there's also this bullshit of pretending to like your boss and having to hang out with them and go to drinks with them. Man, I remember when I was in that call center.
Whoa, come on. Okay, come on. I see one more of those. The video's over.
And I fucking hated his ass. If I had to hang out with that motherfucker, I would be wearing an ankle monitor right now. So genuinely saying which one has a worse work culture is a hard battle to decide. So instead of a chat face, they both get eye bags under their eyes now from overwork. But both these countries shine in technology. They're both extremely dominant in this field and extremely useful to the entire planet. First of all, China makes everything in the world. Like, if you look around your house, probably like 50 to 70% of what you see was fully made in China. And China has gotten a lot better at general technology because of their massive government subsidies, making good cars, innovating on phones, electric car batteries, solar panels, nuclear energy, basically everything. And Japan, I'm worried about Japan's economy.
I can read that.
Nuclear energy, basically everything.
I'm sorry.
Japan,
Alright, it says Esapasu something else.
About Japan's economy, you know, because all the wars in the Middle East have stopped. So their Toyota pickup sales must be down now. Somebody start another conflict in the Middle East. You three need to lock in.
Yo.
Japan needs to sell pickups. But really, Japan is amazing at technology. PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Sony TVs, Canon and Nikon cameras, and basically everyone has these for photography. Toyota, Honda, Seiko, and Casio watches.
Every
Also,
car that we
Japan
drive
has
almost
been
that is
notorious
good
for their amazing train
Japanese.
system. But sadly, they got mugged. And not only does China alone have 2/3 of the world's high-speed rail network, but they also made faster trains than Japan recently. Japan does lead in robotics and precision manufacturing, but China leads in like everything else, man. Like AI, 6G, electric cars, solar panels, and they're literally the only reason why solar panels are cheap now. And also, if everything made in China suddenly disappeared, most of the shit in your house would disappear, and it would look like the True Detective house without the mattress. So while Japan put up a very good fight with amazing technologies, China does win this one. But who needs mass scale technology when you got the vibes, man? Japan is notorious for having the best vibes ever and just general aesthetic stuff. That's why there are weeaboos and not China-boos. China would have a very good chance at scoring points here, but Mao decided, I'm destroying the culture and I'm killing pigeons. Fuck you. Japan just looks like the best place ever, man. I'm actually gonna apply for a visa to go there. It looks amazing. And I haven't even watched anime in a while. Okay, like Tokyo is the coolest city ever. We all know this, but there are so many other gems in Japan as well, such as Okinawa. And this is literally just a tropical island. And just so many absolute...
Yo, okay. So, if y'all don't know, there's going to be a huge vlog when I graduate. Because I actually am going to Japan for when I graduate. Yes, I am going to Japan. We're not going to Okinawa. Okinawa is... If y'all don't know, here's Japan. This is Japan. All right, this circle is Japan. This is Okinawa. This line right here is Okinawa. Please don't be weird, okay? This is Okinawa. So the main island of Japan is like okay. This is Japan. This is Okinawa. Okinawa thing. You have to basically go on boat or plane or something like that to go to Okinawa. Just for it to be like not like the mainland, you know? Like I'd rather go to Kyoto or Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Tokyo, Kobe, Yokohama, Yamaguchi, Sendai, Sapporo, places like that, Niigata, places like that, you know? You don't want to go to Okinawa? You can't even name me one city in that region. It's just Okinawa. Okinawa is a region, all right? We're not going there. I'd rather go to Saipan than Okinawa. Okay, that's a joke. Like, you get what I'm saying.
Gorgeous little towns that has everyone soy facing. China is also beautiful, but the real deciding factor is, would you rather travel to a Chinese village or a Japanese village?
A Japanese.
See, the Phoenix Ancient City in China is a cool place. It's basically like the Kung Fu Panda as a town, and it looks very nice, but come on, man, Japan, bro? Also, if we're counting Hong Kong, because they're not mainland China, Hong Kong is fucking amazing. It's beautiful, amazing public transport too, and someone told me that Tokyo is even better than Hong Kong. I don't know if this is possible. Japanese embassy in Tbilisi, get in contact with me and give me a visa so I can see if it's truly better than Hong Kong. The only way Japan kind of fucks up its vibes is just some perv shit, right?
You own cats, right?
Yes.
And there's cats here too.
But they're not cats, they're teenage girls.
Wow.
So it's a bit of Diddy mode, but I guarantee Diddy wouldn't have gotten all this controversy
Diddy better
if
not
he had
go to
sakura
Japan.
trees in his backyard instead of beds on the basketball court. But Japanese culture is absolutely amazing, especially after they stopped being fascists. That's when they really became cool. I don't know why they still use that flag on their navy. Me personally,
Bro, it's because that is literally a naval Japanese flag. That's not their main flag at all. That is their naval Japanese flag. I don't see why people don't know that.
strive to change it, but hey, I didn't make JoJo or Death Stranding or Berserk, so don't take my word for it. However, No amount of vibes and aesthetic pink trees can cheer you up if your economy is ass. All three of these countries are gorgeous, but then you look at their economies and understand why they're so angry. Lebanon having a black market currency rate, Turkey having their official currency rate, which is somehow worse, and Armenia having these real estate prices. I'd be mad too. It's a reasonable crash out. And China has been growing a lot economically, and generally people have been enjoying a higher quality of life. It is also probably gonna become the biggest economy on the planet, but they have 1.4 billion people, which means they're...
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this is false. They are not gonna have a bigger economy than the United States of America. China is actually falling right now. Don't listen to this video. China is going through a Great Depression almost. They will not pass us.
GDP per capita is less than $13,000, which means it's lower than Mexico, Kazakhstan, Chile, and Bulgaria, because people living in the big cities make 5 to 10 times as much money as people living in the rural areas. Of course, most places have this income gap, but usually not as much as China, such as Japan, which does also have an income gap between big cities and rural areas, but nowhere near as much. And people in Japan generally enjoy a much higher quality of life with nearly triple the GDP per capita. But the thing is, Japan's economy has been stagnant since 1991. So stagnant, in fact, that it's referred to as Japan's lost decades. For example, in 1993, Japan's economy was 4.5 trillion, and this year it's 4.39 trillion. So like all these people are being overworked and the GDP is still not growing. It's a pretty bad situation, to be honest, and their currency has fell a lot in the last 10 years as well. But compared to like an average person in China,
hey, I needed to just stay right where it is at right now. Right now, if I was to work for 40 hours, bring my check over to Japan, I would have a good $4,000, $5,000 in their money. I can do whatever I want, because when I go there, I'm telling y'all, I'm buying me a sword, I'm getting me some armor, I'm gonna give me some ramen noodle, give me some steak, sushi. I tried some sushi, but it was not authentic sushi, so I'm not gonna,
assume that the quality of life is still better. So because this one is about just a normal person living and not the nationwide GDP or some bullshit, this one goes to Japan. But otherwise, obviously, would go to China. They make everything, bro. Now, you guys know Japan as this cute country with a very cute flag that looks gorgeous, has these cute vending machines, but there is a reason Japan is the only country in the world to have a nuke dropped on them. And it's because in World War II, the shit they were doing was so heinous that a literal German Nazi heard about what they were doing to Chinese people
and tried
to stop the Japanese. And the Chinese were so thankful to this Nazi that saved them from at least some of the Japanese atrocities that they built a statue for him. He was just like, okay guys, we are evil. We have skulls on our uniforms, but come on, we're not that evil. And the Chinese and Koreans have a very bad opinion of Japan, and it isn't because of the typical Asian racism, like this argument between two Asians, an Indonesian and an Estonian.
The Republic of Indonesia is made up of tens of thousands of islands, hundreds of cultures and languages. The Estonia is made up of beaten and onion slop-eating Hungarians who polished the cuts of German horses for 1,000 years before being elevated to sapiens by the USSR.
It's because of the horrible things they've done to their neighbors, and the craziest thing is, Japan doesn't even acknowledge it. To this day, they deny it, which is fucking insane.
What?
Every other Axis member was like, oh, we did it and we're so sorry, but Japan doesn't give a fuck. A World War II General Secretary literally wrote a book named Fabrication of the Nanjing, where not only does he deny it happened, but blames the war on the Chinese. Or when the governor of Tokyo was being interviewed by Playboy in 1994 and said, people say that the Japanese made a Holocaust, but that is not true. It is a story made up by the Chinese. It has tarnished the image of Japan, but it is a lie. Imagine if the governor of Berlin said this, bro. It would be fucking insane. But all of this does not matter if you're living in a society that isn't free. China does not get a lot of parts party switches. It's always just the CCP. And the main changes that are their policy changes. So they've been in power for 75 years straight. Isn't that crazy, guys? While on the other hand, Japan's ruling party, the Liberal Democratic Party, has only been ruling for 69 years. Take that, China. They've been ruling Japan since 1955, except for one corruption scandal.
Bro, that's when we gave them freedom. They since we've been out the country, basically. Wait, didn't we leave? We left Japan in 1955. When did the U.S. leave Japan after... No, leave Japan. We left in 1952. April 28, 1952. We officially ended our occupation, which means 3 years they was like, you know what, let's do what the USA says. And it was like, nah, this is the only party that's going to rule. And they know what they're doing, so I ain't even going to. I love
for
Japan.
A year, and
they
between 2019 to 2012, where they lost and then immediately got reelected. Also, in both countries, if you find yourself in a courtroom, you're cooked. Both China and Japan have a 99% prison conviction rate. Saul Goodman is not going to be able to save you. If you end up in a Japanese or a Chinese...
I saw the video. I'm sorry I keep on pausing, but I just like the topic. I saw the video where it's like, you could go over there and like once you get arrested, you might as well just go ahead and just confess at this point, because like not only is it gonna take years for you to even get like the stuff, but they don't got the same rules. It says I don't know if they have the stand your ground rule and the jury rule and all that stuff. I don't think they have all that. So it's kind of like basically if you get arrested, just pack your bags up, man. I'm gonna be careful when I go over there, y'all. Don't worry.
You are cooked. However, where Japan really beats China is the fact that Japanese people can go on YouTube and watch this video, while Chinese people need a VPN to watch this.
Yep.
The Great Firewall of China is a huge minus for me, honestly. And while they do have their own domestic stuff and they don't need YouTube for jack shit, as a Chinese person, you wouldn't need that. It would still be nice if the internet wasn't censored and you could go on websites like YouTube, Google, and etc. Keep Elon's Twitter banned though, please, Xi. I also don't like the re-education camps in Xinjiang, and generally Japan has much better laws on free speech, and they really have their hand up on this one. And this is a very big factor as well, you know, because it could be a vital to a lot of people on whether or not they fuck with the country. People leave their countries and their hometowns because their government is repressive or they don't fuck with the suppressive laws, so big up to Japan. But while the Japanese government wins this section, China their billionaires, which, judging by my personal experience with billionaires and now also looking at America, you know, I'm not gonna say anything about it, but there is a reason why Jack Ma is not in the same position as Elon Musk. Anyways, Japan still wins over China. But is this restrictive government worth it? Because Japan's economy has been stagnant since 1991 and China's has been growing, so they must be doing something right, such as China going from a rural poor country to basically a cyber...
They are still poor. Let's get this narrative that we see these cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Xinjiang, I forgot. It's like Chegong or something like that. I forgot. Harbin. Just because we see those cities and we think, oh, Japan, and then we see like some rulers like, yeah, all countries have rural areas. They are poor. If you was to just go all across the country, Speed has, but he's been going to the more, popular cities. They have a lot of good cities, but there's a lot of bad areas in the areas like Tibet and Xinjiang, something like that. In those areas, I promise you, there's so much poor people. Tibet, Xinjiang, the place, all of that stuff near Mongolia, near the outer Mongolian areas. Bro, I promise you.
That also makes amazing technology and has also emerged as a dominant superpower instead of Japan. If Japan disappeared tomorrow, I would cry. And if China disappeared, every single thing would shoot up in price and everyone would be like, fuck. Because this one country, China...
Bro, no. Because we'll get Mexico to make our stuff. Because they got something like... They're somewhat like China's. They're just not as big as China. But we can just go to Mexico and... our stuff would be cheaper. I don't know about the other world.
manufactures 31.6% of the entire world's goods. Along with doing a bunch of research that advances humanity, such as 6G and bazillion renewable energy research they've done, along with being the only reason behind solar power becoming better and cheaper, without China, the entire world would be cooked. China is #1 in trade, in steel production, in shipbuilding, in high-speed rail, #1 car exporter in the world, in #1 in drones, in rare earth metals, in nuclear power, in batteries, and in solar. It's not really a competition. China gets this one. Now, what you watched was my video, right? I would say I hope you enjoyed it, but fuck that. I know you enjoyed it.
What
So
the-
please like and subscribe for more videos like this.
hell no.
I'm trying to reach my own Project 2025 here.
Wait, he has a
And
million?
like and
Oh,
subscribe.
snap. Wait, hold on.
And goodbye.
Sounds like a bunch of copyright. Sounds like a bunch of copyright. Oh my gosh. He has 426. Alright. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. In my opinion, Japan wins. China loses. You know, clean sweep, you know. Just like 2018 finals. Sadly, LeBron was in that finals. You know, LeBron low-key had no help with that finals though. But not the point. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, share to your friends, family, and everybody. And make sure that you don't get caught up in this Chinese propaganda, okay? Because I'm going to be real with y'all. China is not doing good as we speak. This is 2 months ago. This is before all this is happening. China is not doing as good as we think right now. They are having a lot of protests, a lot of economic problems. Their economy is falling. I think their currency is even falling. Everything is going bad. Don't let them trick you, all right? This is NSU Tay. Well, I used to be NSU Tay. I am still in NSU though, but like Tay reacts. But yeah, you know what I'm saying.